Thank you. Thank you for all you do and for being here. Before I begin what Bob told me to talk about, which is labor and health care, I do want to follow up on a point that Keith made, and really Bob made in introducing me. We have to remember that some of us in the Congress are you. That there are the allies that you have within the Congress that need you desperately to be playing your role out there as we play our role inside. And I think that Move On, for example, has done a great job of developing that kind of inside and outside relationship, as many of you have done, as the Campaign for America's Future has done. So even as you get impatient, remember that you've got the people working on the inside. And I want to tell you that one of those people is the Speaker of the House. There is no one... I'm telling you the truth when I tell you there is no one who wants to end this war more than Nancy Pelosi, and she was the one in 2001 that stood before the Democratic caucus and told us, as one of the so-called Gang of Eight, the people within the Congress that has the most intelligence given to her, that there was no justification for this war. She did it standing in front of our leader at the time, Dick Gephardt, who was urging us really to vote in favor of the use of force resolution. And ever since she has been the Speaker of the House, her primary goal has been to end this war. You are an enormously important component of that, so keep on doing what you're doing. Okay. Now, our agenda is not just about big ideas, but it's also about real people. And I want to talk to you about Shirley Brown. Shirley Brown has worked in housekeeping at Westlake Hospital in Chicago for over 11 years. Her hospital is part of the Resurrection Hospital system, where Shirley's been fighting for 4 years to form a union. After being mistakenly treated for an ulcer, Shirley found out on January 12th of this year that she has stomach cancer that has spread to her lymphatic system. In March, Shirley took leave through the Family and Medical Leave Act, unpaid leave, let's remember, but that ran out on April 16th. Her department had told her that she would have to return to work, or otherwise she would lose her full-time job, even though she was going through chemotherapy and her immune system was so weak. So, against her doctor's recommendation and running the very real risk that she would pick up some kind of life-threatening infection cleaning up hospital waste, Shirley returned to work on April 30th. Her colleagues wore buttons protesting their hospital management's refusal to grant her leave, but Shirley Brown had no choice. She needs her job, and she needs the health care that it provides. So Shirley's story has a moral. Actually, it has two morals that I want to talk to you about. First, Shirley needs a union. Shirley needs a union. And second, like the rest of us, she needs universal health care so she doesn't have to return to a dangerous workplace to get life-saving medical care. So let's talk about the union difference. This is a very important week for union rights, as many have mentioned, and I want to say just a few words about why all of us should do absolutely everything we can to pass the Employee Free Choice Act in the Senate, where it is right now. We should be doing everything we can to ensure that working men and women have the right to be represented by a union. Unions protect the rights of Shirley Brown and people like Sally Wright. She's a greeter at Walmart for 22 years, who was cut from 32 hours a week to 8 hours a week when she had the audacity to ask if she could go on the day shift. Shirley Brown and Sally Wright need the strength of the union watching their back and the union rep at their side. Union members earn more, they have better benefits, they get paid vacation and sick leave. The union difference for working families is the difference between being able to live a decent life or falling into financial debt and disaster. Organized labor is a driving force behind the progressive movement, whether it comes to electing candidates who will stand with working families or supporting campaigns for civil rights and human rights and fair trade and Social Security and universal health care. Unions are under attack because of what they do. By making sure that workers get their fair share of the economic pie, they hold corporations responsible. And by promoting the progressive movement, they make our country more just, and that is precisely the reason they're under attack by President Bush and his Republican cronies. And that is exactly why each of us must stand with labor at tomorrow's EFCA rally on Capitol Hill and back home in our communities. Now, I said at the beginning that labor is a major component in getting us where we need to get on the critical progressive issue of universal health care. We have to fight for and we have to win the guarantee that every person in this country will get affordable, comprehensive, and high-quality health care. And I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely fed up with the arguments on why we can't join the rest of the world by making health care a right of all our people. And the reasons they give us are many. Of course, they tell us we can't afford it. And we're being told that the same people who voted for the $2 trillion tax cut, the 48% of which goes to the wealthiest 5% of households, and from the same people who are supporting a war that is costing us $12 million an hour, every hour, 24/7, 4.5 years. That is about $480 billion right now, and counting. And if you want to see how it's counting, go to the website if you haven't, costofwar.com. It shows .org. It shows you how many children could get health care, how many students could receive affordable preschool and student loans, and how many units of affordable housing we could build if we funded those priorities instead of the war in Iraq. And I'm hoping that someone will create a similar website, maybe costoftaccuts2millionaires.org, so that we can change the Republican priorities that say it's better to give tax cuts to the super wealthy than to invest in America. We're also told that universal health care is too complicated and too difficult, and there are too many unanswered policy questions. Imagine that. Somehow countries from Andorra to Zambia have figured it out, but the United States simply can't do it. I don't know, person on the moon, but no. They say Americans don't want big government, the old socialized medicine threat, or we'll be hearing more of that, and that the federal government can't run anything right. And Andrea and others have talked about that. They want us to ignore the facts. Medicare and Medicaid have administrative costs of about 3 to 4%, right, compared to the 15 to 25% in the private insurance industry. And their per capita cost increases are lower. They think we won't care that private Medicare plans are so costly that they've depleted revenues and shortened the life of the Medicare Trust Fund by 2 years and counting. They want us to ignore the facts so that they can continue to privatize Medicare as they privatize everything else, deny demands for a Medicare-administered drug plan, for instance, and send all of us into the private insurance market as part of their you're on your own philosophy. What'd you say it was? Good luck? Is that the byword? Yeah. We hear that we need to be more cautious and act incrementally, that Americans like baby steps, not bold action, or that we need to give the market more time to get it right. Well, we know better. They keep asking us to rely on the private insurance industry, and as a result, premiums go up, uninsurance rates go up, and the number of Americans who can't afford needed medical care goes up. We hear that Americans don't want coverage, particularly you young people in the room, that they want to gamble with their lives or think they are invincible. That too, I think, is not true. Am I right about that? It's not true? Yeah, I thought so. I'm fed up with those excuses, but there are 18,000 Americans each year who are literally sick to death because of them. That is the number of Americans who die each year because they're uninsured and can't get the care they need. That's a big number, but it doesn't even begin to reflect the crisis. It doesn't include 46 million uninsured Americans, including 9 million children, or 77 million Americans, two-thirds of them of whom are insured, who can't get their medical bills or who are deep in medical debt, or workers who give up wage increases to hang on to their health care and can't change jobs without losing their health insurance, or senior citizens and persons who had fallen into the Medicare donut hole and can't afford their drugs, or people with disabilities who can't get personal care services or who are discriminated against because they need mental health care, or people of color who routinely face health care disparities and culturally insensitive providers. And it certainly doesn't include immigrants, undocumented or with legal status, who are cruelly and wrongly barred from medical care and stupidly barred from medical care.
Yeah.
The naysayers tell us that providing guaranteed health care is too hard. They tell us to wait, to be satisfied with high deductible plans and bare-bone coverage, to limit coverage for workers, to drop coverage for retirees, or outsource jobs overseas to countries with national health care. But we do not have to wait. We will not be satisfied until each and every one of us gets quality health care at the price we can afford. And we know that the reason that we don't have universal health care is not that it's too difficult or it's too costly or that Americans don't want it. It's that the administration and Congress in the pocket of corporate America don't have the political will yet. And it is our job to create that will, to build political pressure that is so loud and so persistent that it can't be ignored and pushed aside. At long last, I do believe that we can and we will accomplish this long overdue goal. And we can do so because I believe that at heart we are a just and caring people. Cardinal Bernardine, who was from Chicago, who fought so hard with us for universal health care in Illinois, eloquently told us, health care is an essential safeguard of human life and dignity, and there is an obligation for society to ensure that every person be able to realize this right. And we can do this because the health care crisis has reached all corners of our country and virtually every income level, and there is virtually no family that is left untouched. This is no longer a problem for other people. It's a problem that confronts all of us and that all of us have a major stake in solving. And we can do it because health care has become a national economic crisis. Small businesses and big businesses alike are demanding action. AT&T and Safeway and Starbucks and others are finally calling on Congress for a national solution. They're now willing to acknowledge that government can get involved, should get involved, if we want to lower costs and increase access, that business can't do it on their own. And finally, we can do so because we are going to elect a president and a Congress in 2008 that's committed to solving this crisis. We're on our way. Finally, everyone sees what you see. Now, I happen to be a proud Barack Obama supporter, and I believe he gets the urgency of the health care crisis and is committed to solving it. But we must demand that all of our candidates make affordable health care for all a top priority, along with, of course, ending this war in Iraq. So whoever takes the oath of office on January 20th, 2009, and I'm counting the days, must be prepared to begin working to win universal health care that day. No more excuses, no more delays, and as the President was talking about low expectations, the days of low expectations are gone. Thank you.